Oh, we're trying to shoot Metal Monthly, but there's an air show in Toronto. Hard to talk about new metal when there's an air show. No new metal. Howdy, Banger fans. Blaine Smith welcoming you to another Metal Monthly. Banger's monthly look at what's coming out in metal releases. This is September 2022. It would have come out on Friday. I know we already missed a Friday, but Megadeth came out on Friday, and Megadeth is apparently a pretty big band that people have heard of, so we needed to talk about that. But I'm here to talk about some bands you might not have heard of. I'm here to list the 5 best underground metal albums coming out this month. But before I get to my picks for that, here is a list, as usual, of the new and noteworthy releases you might want to keep an eye out. Some of them are bigger bands, some of them might be covering, who knows? Boom. If you watch BangerTV, which I hope you do, you already know that Megadeth released an album last Friday, but so did Blind Guardian with the God Machine on Nuclear Blast. But coming up on the future side of things, September 9th, we've got Bloodbath releasing Survival of the Sickest on Napalm. We've got Fallujah releasing Empyrean on Nuclear Blast. And we've got Ozzy Osbourne releasing Patient Number 9 on Epic. September 16th, you've got Behemoth releasing some shit with too many V's in it for me to read on Nuclear Blast. You've got Clutch releasing Sunrise on Slaughter Beach on Weathermaker. September 23rd, you've got Banger Pals Ken Mode releasing Null on Artifact Records. You've got Razor releasing Cycle of Contempt on Relapse. And you've got Venom Inc. releasing There's Only Black on Nuclear Blast. And then to close the month out on September 30th, you've got Autopsy releasing Morbidity Triumphant on Peaceville. And you've got Slipknot releasing The End So Far on Roadrunner. And just a special shout out, Revocation is releasing Nether Heaven on September 9th, and I've already been listening to it a bunch, and it is great. So that's a little bonus album in the suggestions for you there that I've already heard that I like. But Revocation's really big, and you probably don't need me to tell you about Revocation. So there's the big ones, but off to the underground. Here's my top 5 picks. Up first, it's a death metal band everyone's been buzzing about. It's Phobophilic releasing Enveloping Absurdity on Prosthetic Records September 16th. I know their Bandcamp page says September 1st, but it's wrong, and they said they couldn't change it, so it's September 16th. That's why. That's what's going on. Have a listen. First, we've got some Fargo-based death metal, and this is a crazy record because, as far as I can tell, this is everyone in the band's first metal band, if not first band, and this is their first full-length, so it's crazy that it sounds this experienced and polished and professional already out the gates. There's a middle step missing that I gotta find out about. What you get here is a perfectly balanced diet of the kind of elevated death metal cuisine of the Tomb Cantation style and the more greasy spoon diner style entombed old school death metal, and they really blend everything perfectly, mostly having the entombed style because that's obviously the one that you can eat a lot of, and then the kind of richer, higher calorie, elevated stuff is used sparingly, but very effectively. And the thing that makes this record sound so professional is that all of the instruments sound very, very good. Like I wouldn't change anything about them. The guitars have an amazing tone that really normally comes from years of experimentation and perfecting pedals and amps and whatnots. The bass is thick heavy and audible. You can hear it. And special shout-outs to drummer Vincent Twenton, because the drums have a great spatial sound to them. You can kind of feel where each of them are as they're being played and travel around the kit with them, which is great because he goes all over that kit. He's always moving. The cymbals, especially the little dings, sound So it's a death metal record, I think, for everybody, unless you like shitty death metal. Then there's some records that came out this month for you too. Ask and thou shalt receive. Complaining about the lack of thrash lately. Here we go. It keeps coming in now. Miscreance, Convergence on Unspeakable Axe Records, coming out September 19th.
The government I don't justify the enemies to make players be close. This is what quest for truth. That's the police in the action.
Here we've got some Italian technical thrash, which is cool because I don't know a lot of Italian thrash in general, and if you want to grab my attention, have a band photo like this. There's a lot to unpack here. It's simultaneously arty, goofy weirdness with also some thrash, old school dummy vibes, and it's really kind of a record. And that's actually our theme for the month, which is someone taking a nice painting and throwing it in the mud. This is technical thrash, and it is very technical, but there is still that grime to it that prevents it from crossing over into the Berkeley college grad of unlistenable prog side of the progressive technical world you can exist in. Every song sounds like the band is barely able to restrain the chaos that they're creating. But the really cool thing is, towards the end of the song, they kind of just let everything unravel and all the pieces fall to the floor, and then before the end of the song, they scramble to pick them up, and it's all done in a way that sounds awesome, even if you don't understand necessarily what's going on from a technical, professional side. And big shout-outs to drummer Andre Feltrin. I'm talking about drummers a lot this month as well, because his drumming's great, but he's also a vocalist, which I still think is a lie and impossible, and no vocalist can ever drum, and no drummer can ever vocalist. It's two things that are impossible to do at the same time. But his vocals have this harsh kind of grating rasp on his throat that sounds like he's gonna blow out his voice in 2 years. But what it does do is it helps keep that lid on everything that's going on, where it can never really cross over too much into the technical progressive side, and it just stays firmly in the white high top thrash side of what they're doing. So fuck yeah. Up next, I'm taking you back to death metal. It's Cruz, Confines de la Cordia on Nuclear Winter Records, coming out September 26th. Here we've got some Spanish death metal with a great chaos, as in chaos, not chaos as in chaos, cover by Cesar Velardes, who fucking made some shit I love, so I'm on board with that. And I know, 2 death metal records in 1 month. I only played death metal. There's so many death metal records that came out, at least probably 30 quality death metal releases came out this month, so get ready to hear about more of them from me and some shout-outs, because I don't know, man, September, Shredtember, death metal month. I don't know what you want from me. But I will say this is different enough from Phobophilic that I feel like I can put it in here, and it's cool. Because the main word I'd use to describe this record is energy. This is a very high energy record. There's a punky vibe, thanks in big parts to the drumming. Again, yeah, I'm talking about drumming a lot this month. These are the themes: art, made gross, and drums. The record surprisingly starts with a 2.5 minute intro, and I'm not mad about it because the 2.5 minute intro is like this kind of spooky, growing-y thing, and then from the 2 minute intro, there's this amazing contrast where it kicks into just fucking high gear with a full blast on the drums and a 20-second guitar solo. Just technically, what is the first song? It's the second track. Starts with a 20-second guitar solo. That's how you kick things off if you're going to have an intro track. And in defense of that intro track, it's a good spooky doom intro track, and I'd probably listen to a full album of that as like background music. They are sometimes doing like 9-minute songs though, with with a bit of, again, some kind of spooky sounds, some little bit of atmosphere, but then the instant they start playing death metal, they're just like, okay, go! So if you like your death metal fast, frantic, with a bit of punk energy, boom, there you go. And now for another pretty extreme record. This isn't going to be the softest of metal monthlies for you. Sorry if you're on that side of the line. This is Toadeater's Bexadde, F.D.A. Records, September 9th. Here we've got some German post-black metal with a great cover by Rafael Pasquale Zamora that's like spooky and unsettling, but also vague and nothing really graphic. It's very cool. And he's from Peru, Lima. I love Lima. So continuing with this month's theme of mucking up a nice thing, Toadeater asks, what if someone made post-black metal but kept all the aggression of actual black metal? The answer to that question is you'd get post-black metal that sounds good for a change. Hey-oh, haha, but it's a little unfair to call this post-black metal, though, because it's almost like a medley of kind of the whole of the black metal genre, because in the record you get the aggression, like I said, of your standard black metal. You get the atmospherics of atmospheric black metal, and you get the gut-wrenching tone and the overwhelming sadness of some suicidal, depressive black metal, and you get the post-black, but somehow he keeps the brightness out of the post-black in it's more experimentation than kind of the traditional post-black sound that you're used to, which all metals together, mumbles, blah, blah, jib, 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 da, to make a record that sounds wholly unique, is super cool, and is great for black metal fans, and it's probably a great way to get people that have been listening to just post-black metal to listen to better black metal. Really, just elbow dropping post-black metal to this one. Boom! Thus we come to our palate cleanser of the month, and I don't think it's going to surprise anyone what I'm picking here. It's Sonja's Loud Arriver on Cruz del Sur Music, coming out September 23rd. Here we have some Philly-based heavy metal, and to close out our theme of shiny things thrown in the muck, Sonja asks the question, what if Ghost made records I still like? Teo. If you've been enjoying this whole gothic rock revival we've been getting with your idle hands, yes, I'm always going to call them idle hands, and Tribulation and the whatnots, well, then you have an absolute buy and add to the collection and the rotation that will stand there with all of them for repeat listens. I was already on board when I heard the single Nylon Nights. I was like, hell yeah. But hearing that single also made me super worried, because a lot of times with bands like this, they release a single that's fast and full of all this energy, and then you listen to the record, and the record is like just mid-tempo, slower, drag, bore. But that's absolutely not the case here. There's a ton of fast, quick songs, and they all have a great backbeat by drummer Kazurch. I don't know, it's too many G's, Z's, and K's in one word for me. He always has that good backbeat going to everything. Everything moves along really fast, which is the thing I want out of music like this. And then, of course, we don't need to talk about Melissa Moore's chops. We already know she's an amazing guitar player, and continuing the hallowed trend of bands that sound like this starting somewhere in the black metal world. Of course, Melissa Moore being an absolutely amazing black metal guitar player as well. So that really all comes together to just add up that formula of how to make a perfect record that sounds like this. And like I said, if you like Tribulation, they did the gig there, kind of had the same, evolution. She had the same evolution. It just happened into a different band because of reasons where, hey, her old band can go to hell. Yeah, that's been the month. It's an exciting month. I had so many more records to talk about. I'm going to fill the rest of the month just spewing recommendations at you. So make sure you follow us on Twitch, because I'll be talking a lot about there. We got a great Twitch channel, and we've been doing Shredders of Metal. We're doing Shredders of Metal all Shred-tember, so come out on Thursdays. We're doing Shredders of Metal live. We did our first episode last week, and it was a blast. It turned out so good, so I hope you'll join us for some future installments.